Clint from 50 Campfires here. Today we're going to be talking about bear safety out on the trail. If you spend any amount of time in bear country, there's always the possibility that you're going to have a bear encounter. We're going to talk about how to stay safe on the trail and also cover bear spray and how that kind of fits into the whole equation. First, let's talk about bear spray itself, which is a powerful mixture of capsaicins and hands down your most effective deterrent for a bear attack. We're looking for two things when it comes to bear sprays. We're looking for distance and we're looking for duration. Our go-to is Counter Assault because it is the only one on the market that is going to go 40 feet and it goes for a full 8 seconds. That 40-foot spray is important because don't forget how fast a bear can move. They can cover 40 feet in a couple seconds, so that could make all the difference in getting out of there alive. Next, and this is perhaps the most important tip here, is that you want to make sure that you are fully prepared to use your bear spray, which means practicing. So you want to practice taking it out of the holster. You want to practice, the Counter Assault has a little safety wedge here on the top. So you want to practice taking out of the holster, taking that safety wedge off with your thumb. Do that over and over and over again, whether you have it mounted on your hip, some people mount it on their chest, or they might have it mounted across the backpack strap. But obviously it needs to be accessible first and foremost. But number two, you want to make sure that you practice getting it out as fast as possible. Next up, make sure you educate yourself on the area that you're going to be hiking in. Find out what types of bears are in the area. Find out what their behavior is like, how they act when they're around people, and even more importantly, make sure you give the ranger's office a call. They'll know if there have been any bears spotted in the area in recent weeks. So let's talk about prevention on the trail a little bit. Make sure you're making a little bit of noise. You can sing, "Hey bear!" Some people use bells. Some people like to clang their hiking sticks together. And also think about things like this. If you're walking next to, let's say, a very loud rushing river, the bear might not be able to hear you. You might have to make a little bit more noise. So just be aware of your surroundings and make sure that you are heard. Next, make sure that your bear spray is accessible at all times. Some people like to carry it on their hip. You can carry it on the strap that holds your backpack straps together. Now this might sound like a no-brainer, but some people only think about this when they're on the trail. When you are in camp, cooking, hanging out, playing cards at the picnic table, wherever you're at, make sure that you have that sitting right next to you at all times. So let's talk about what to do if you are actually in a bear encounter. I've personally have seen grizzly bear and black bear many times in the wild. I've been fortunate enough to never have that turn into a dangerous situation. If that does happen to you, don't mess around with your pack. Immediately, you want to get your bear spray ready to go. Start to back up slowly and make sure that you are ready to let loose. In particular with grizzlies, they'll sometimes make this snapping sound with the jaw, and if you hear that, you need to be very ready because they're getting very aggressive. So I think there's a misconception also about a lot of people think that, you know, if there is a bear charge, that you're just taking their bear spray and you're firing it straight at their head. That's not the correct way to use it. What you want to do and what is more effective is to hold it at, you're going to want to hold it at a 45-degree angle, and you're going to go back and forth, and you'll be creating a wall of capsaicin. Going back and forth will also make it a little bit more effective if there's any wind. If you don't have any time, you can deploy it right from the holster, no problem. What you're doing is creating a wall of, like I said, capsaicin and irritant that's going to get into the bear's eyes, into their nose, and most of the time they will retreat. So after the attack, you're likely going to be in a state of shock, but the most important thing that you need to do is get out of the area as quickly as possible. Like I said earlier, most bears will retreat if they get a shot of capsaicin from bear spray into their nose and into their eyes. So they'll be out of the area for at least a short period of time. You need to get out of there, get to safety, and call for help. I hope these tips give you the confidence to head out and keep hiking. One thing I hear far too often in bear country is that some people are just too scared to go out. But if you're properly prepared, you practice with your bear spray, that should give you the confidence and the peace of mind to keep heading outside every weekend, keep exploring.